Mind always makes us believe that whatever is being experienced in the moment is real. And if an emotion comes up that has a charge, that means it is high in intensity. It can be anything, it can be anxiety, sadness, irritation, restlessness. Whatever comes up in the moment, mind makes us believe that it is real. And then out of that reality spins a story. It starts spinning a story around it. So if you notice carefully, this is what the mind does. There is always a story. And if we are aware enough and conscious enough, we will notice that this whole process is happening. And in the very noticing lies the end of that story of mind. Because that story is always centered around the separate self or me. Thought by itself is not of much use, in the sense that I'm not talking about the thought that is used to do creative things. I'm talking about thought that creates separation, division between thinker and the object of thinking. That is the separative thought. Me and my story, me being the subject and my story being the object of my thoughts. So, mind, the thinking mind, goes into the worst case scenarios. If the economy goes bad, I lose my job, I lose my relationship, I end up on the street. If this happens, then what will I do? If that happens, then what will I do? It keeps going on and on, constantly tormenting the nervous system. But if we are aware enough and we can see that mind is just ruminating in an imaginary future, it is lurking into that space which is not. And if we are totally aware of the present moment, here and now, then we see that there is nothing to fear, there is no worry, there cannot be any anxiety. But you see, mind is a liar, and mind convinces us that whatever is being experienced right now is real. But that reality itself is shaped. So all the intellectualization that happens at the level of mind is verbalized, which is limited and which is based on this separative notion. However, there is another kind of thought which is engaged in creative work. Now, in creative work, one experiences flow, and in that flow, one completely loses oneself to the craft or the art or the work that they are doing. That is not the separative thought. That thought unites. It is only the thinking mind that separates. And thinking mind causes suffering because of that separation. So, nothing has to be done other than to see this entire movement of the thinking mind creating this subject-object split. Subject being me and object being my story. So when my story ends, mind has nothing to move. It doesn't move into the dead past, it doesn't move into the imaginary future. And that is when we experience the joy of the present moment. That is when we experience true stillness of the mind, which is no mind, or the infinite mind. Because it is not shaping thoughts out of some prejudice or a limiting belief, but simply being witness to whatever is happening without trying to change anything without trying to modify the content of consciousness, recognizing that consciousness and its content are one. And to get out of that rut that the mind creates, all that is required is awareness. Awareness of one's own being. Not a filtered awareness, not the awareness of the mind, but awareness in which the mind shines. That awareness is vast. And in that awareness, one realizes that one simply is. And that one does not have to be this or that. So, yes, mind is a liar, but mind is a friend also. The engaging, working mind, creative mind is a friend. The thinking mind can be the foe. But eventually both of these also stem from awareness. And the knowledge of that drops the thinking mind.